What's up? ADOS in our lives. You know who it is. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel, bringing you those ADOS hot topics, making the case for reparations, making the case for COVID-19 stimulus demand relief, making the case for Friends of ADOS Super PAC, making the case for a trifecta up in this piece, this election cycle. But today, yes, family, woo-wee, I am so excited. Y'all know how hard it is to keep me quiet, right? They've had to put a muzzle on me because I've been wanting to scream this from the rafters when ADOS SoCal and ADOSDMV, that brilliance just came together, okay? It came together, family, so we can bring you guys that roadmap to reparations tour. March on Washington, family, is coming. It's coming. ADOS, we are here. What? Oh my God. So today's show is making the case for the roadmap to reparations. Yes, y'all. I want y'all to brave COVID and get your buses ready and get your airfare ready and get your hotels ready, right, family? Because you know what? The ancestors braved far more than COVID-19. They braved it, family. Let me tell you something. I need all my warriors, all my soldiers, all my angels in Washington, D.C. Come in on the 26th. I'll probably have some work for you to do, but definitely be there by the 27th, okay? And I've got the esteemed communications director of the Roadmap to Reparations March on Washington, Tanzy Flakes from ADOSDMV here today to help me make the case for why we need to be in Washington on August 27th and 28th. You don't want to miss it, family. This is ADOS's 21st century civil rights moment. You've got to be there, family. It's going to be fire, family. Woo-wee. And y'all, they let me help with the vision of the march. Ooh, y'all know God was speaking through your sister. He's still talking. She's still talking, okay? All right. What's up, Francine Johnson? Thank you for joining the live. Yes, honey. Let me tell you something. It's going to be epic because I just keep getting light bulb after light bulb after light bulb. And your hostess with the most is going to get 5 whole minutes to speak. What? Y'all pray for me because you know I was born to talk. I'm going to write my script. I'm going to practice my lines. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I don't go over time so they'll invite me back. And they've also left me charged to help vet the speakers, of which we're in the process of finalizing. But when they gave me that task, family, it's all about ADOS for me. I mean, I can't think of any better people to highlight during the Road to Reparations March than our very own. Yes, family, we've got some powerhouses in this movement. They're brilliant. Yes, they're beautiful. And we are fighting every day collectively all over the country for ADOS. Yes, we are, family. The movement takes catnaps, family. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We're not playing up in this piece with y'all. We are coming for that check. They don't get to just make this about effect and not deal with cause. We're going to be in the nation's capital to help them understand the cause back of that check in the trillions over multi-generations. We're going to help them get some understanding on 827 and 828. I want you to be there, family, okay? Because we need All hands on deck.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farm. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Now, this is what we are faced with, and this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
What? Oh, my goodness. Family, we are coming for that check, y'all, and you got to be there. It's going to be epic. Now, Tanzy, I'm not really sure where she disappeared to. She's in the lobby, and now the screen is black. She might be having some technical difficulty. Let me get her on the line, family. Stand by. Y'all start your watch parties, because y'all know I'm going to be running this one into the ground. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. The show must go on. Let me get on the phone, because she's falling out altogether. That's okay. We gonna make this do what it do. Hold on, family. I'm gonna get her on the main line. Start your watch parties. Share, share, share. Just give me a second. Shout out to CO on the Friends of ADOS. Not Friends of ADOS, ADOS SoCal. She's helping me to go live in all the spaces, family. This is about to get polished. I won't have to be wearing a million hats. Certain things will already be set up. It's going to be rich. Shout out to CO, ADOS SoCal. Okay, let me call Tanzy. Yes, my love. Don't stress. You're on live. We're just going to do it on the speaker. I don't know.
I was gonna hook it up over the telephone.
Okay, you want to try that so we can see you, but you don't have to. We can hear you.
Yeah, we should do it over the phone. I got it hooked up. I was waiting to text myself in.
Well, no, let's try to see you. That my audience loves to see ADOS and the leaders in the movement. So let's try to see you. I'm gonna drop the call and you try to log in that way, and I'll just speak with the audience a little bit till I see you in the lobby, and then I can bring you up to the main stage. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, family. So she's actually going to try to get in. Oh, there she is, family. The one, the only Tanzy Flakes, ADOSDMV Communications Director for the Roadmap to Reparations. Stand by. Hi, Tanzy. Oh my God, here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I'm going to start the live before you introduce yourself to the viewing audience, okay? I had to start it from my phone, child. It's just a lot. Just give me a second.
No problem.
Woo-wee, this is gonna be fire. Okay, I gotta. I'm going to turn this off. Ah, we're live now.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for choosing to join me in my illustrious audience today. Shout out to Chrissy Bambusa, Francine Johnson, and we're just waiting on the rest of the audience to file in. Just super excited for you being here and helping me to make the case for the roadmap to reparations March on Washington, August 27th and 28th. Well, let's first start with who you are and how you became such a leader in the ADOS movement.
Yes, so my name is Tanzy Flakes. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I'm a former Army sergeant, so I'm a veteran, I'm an Army veteran. And my last duty station was here in the DMV area. So I kind of just stuck around. And like so many other people in this area, they get involved in the community and thus. So that's kind of how I kind of stumbled upon ADOS, getting more involved. A friend had introduced me to it, and I was becoming more political. And so as I began to listen to Yvette and Tone's broadcast more and more, um, it just made me say to myself, you know what, there's just something else has to be done. And that's when I started getting involved with different rallies and things like that. I would go back to Houston and get involved. And the Supreme Court rally happened. We put that together, just from us being around each other and meeting at the conference. So when this thing all came about with George Floyd and all, we were still trying to figure out how to get past COVID, and because it had impacted our advocacy so much. So I was just like, you know what, that's it. We need to do something after we were kind of not really wanting to do a march because of COVID, and we didn't want to go out there and get involved because so many of us was having difficulties with being sick and staying well. But after Al Sharpton came out and he said, we're going to hold a march, and I was like, you know what, we need to have a presence at that march. We need to be there. And when we came, that was it. When we came together, our minds were made up, and we said, you know what, our presence needs to be seen. We need to be felt, because all of this is happening because we don't have reparations. If had we had reparations, we wouldn't be falling victim to COVID like we are. We wouldn't be having the problems we are with police brutality and so many other things. So the DMV minds got together and we said, this is what we have to do. And we laid it out, and we reached out to our other chapters to, this is what we have in mind, and everyone was like, yes, yes, this is what I want to put in, and this is what I can put in. And it became a thing, and it got legs, and it started running. And we're all just excited.
I am just over the moon, like, a kid at Christmas for this march. I have long believed that this march was going to be epic and it was going to be our 21st century civil rights moment to come and finish the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and get that check. And I agree with you, being poor in this country as ADOS has made us a target. The target is on our backs, and executing us and denying us opportunity is built into the cake called institutionalized systemic racism. And ADOS is not having it on our watch. We are braving COVID to be there to make the case because, family,
Yes.
everybody wants to deal with the effects of COVID. They want to deal with the effects of a George Floyd. But nobody wants to deal with how we got here in the first place. It is slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. And Tanzy's absolutely right. None of this changes until we get this check. It just doesn't. There is no way to close the egregious racial wealth gap. People want to talk all about our $1 trillion between us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to get real that 90% of us are sharing less than $1 trillion. We're not out here buying a gang of Jordans or hair weaves or acrylic nails. That will not doing those things will not close the egregious racial wealth gap. White folks share over 100 trillion and counting every day because when white folks catch a cold, Black folks catch COVID. And so I decided to partner with the very beautiful, brilliant DMV chapter as ADOS SoCal to bring this march into fruition. I feel like this. Our ancestors braved far more. They braved far more than the freedoms. They braved far more than the COVID for our civil rights. And we are from that ilk. That blood courses through our veins. Those amazing, beautiful ancestors who paid the most severe price needs their strong sons and daughters to rise up at that March on Washington. And so I believe it's imperative that we show up in Obama inauguration style numbers for ADOS because we have a lot of work that needs to be done. And if you can't make it because you're fearful of the COVID, you can always support us in the Cash App the DMV has set up because we have a vision that is going to require financing, family. And so I don't want to hear we don't have money for that. Stop it. There's some things that you need to do to create a return on your investment. This is one of them. And when we aggregate dollars, we can have a march. We're going to have a march that's going to be epic with or without your support. But guess what, family? That puts a strain on my pockets, on Tanzy's pockets, on Asan's pocket, Dawn's pocket, Marshall's pockets. We're the Furious Five. Okay? So when you guys don't do your part, understand that you put the burden on the five of us to deliver your reparations. Now, is that fair? Is that fair, family? I don't think so. Let me give a shout out over here real quick before I get back to Tanzy and pull her into the conversation. This is her first time, family. We baptizing her here over at the Friends of ADOS TV. So she hasn't learned how to cut me off yet. She ain't learned how to jump in. Everybody else has been here 2-3 times. They know how to cut me off. But she's polite and gracious, and I'm so grateful to her. But the next show, y'all, I'm sure she's going to talk me right off my own show. To Michael Jeffries, love you, Black and Strong. Asan Powell, hey, she's in the building. We love you, Black and Strong, Asan. She's one of the head leaders of the Roadmap to Reparations and the ADOSDMV. Okay, Tanzy, I see you in there. You guys start your watch parties too. Although, you know me, this is going to be running in succession until times get better. So, anywho, Tansy, back to you. So, what in your tell me why I gave my reasons. What's up, Eric Stevens? Why I believe the march is critical and important. Can you share with me any more on why you believe it's critical and important?
Well, I feel like in this moment where Yvette has said in the past that in order for this movement to actually catch fire, it has to have the wind behind its back. And I don't think we can have more wind behind Black empowerment's back than we do right now. You have white
Yeah.
people all across this world talking about how Black lives matter. And God bless them. Some of them don't really necessarily know the backstory with Black Lives Matter the way we do, but that's okay because we're there to educate them. We're there to let them know that yes, Black lives do matter, and the best way that you can do that is by supporting reparations because all of the grievances that we talked about is encapsulated in reparations. That's the solution. So we want to be there to hand out information to these well-meaning white people and these well-meaning other people of color that they like to coin themselves as, but they're their own ethnic groups that have been pushed onto us in our communities for us to wrap our arms around them. We need them to wrap their arms around the idea of fixing the problem that they've fallen into with us, since we all in the same boat here, and in order for us to be fixed and in order for them to reap the benefits of us being fixed, they need to be on board with reparations. Everybody want to be a person of color nowadays that slavery is over. They want to put on that burden of slavery so they can be a person of color. Well, guess what? Them police brutalities, that comes with being a person of color. And guess why? Because we Black. And if you want to come on over here and be a colored person too, you go get what colored people get. And they get police brutality. They get mistaken for the ex-slaves. And because you get mistaken for the ex-slaves, you get treated like the current ex-slaves. And you go catch some of this police brutality. You go catch some of this redlining because you got this dark skin. You go catch all of that. You may as well get on in on this reparations, because when we get fixed, you stop being mistaken for us. You
I,
know,
I, love, I love that. I love that, Tansy, because the bottom line is they've already been given reparations.
yes.
We, our ancestors, blood and bones in this soil, made a way for you under the 1965 Immigration Act. We took all those hits, all those rapes, all those lynchings, all of it is buried in the ADOS descendants so that you can come up. Look at the way the Hispanics are being advantaged right now with DACA. And now Trump has gotten on the bandwagon since the Supreme Court has earmarked it. Why do you think they are earmarking that, family? Because they don't want to need the Black vote anymore. They don't want us to hold that vote hostage for reparations and a Black agenda. They want to make Hispanics white to keep their numbers up, to keep their benefits and entitlements up. And they want to continue to keep us on the bottom. So it is cheaper, okay? Not just in the field, in the vineyards. I'm telling you personally, I saw Wells Fargo banks out here in California go from predominantly African American minority to Asians, but predominantly Hispanic. We have gone from 15% to 6% in Southern California, and Hispanics are 51% as they make us poor and then encourage and push abortions on us as Black people, and imprison our men and make other races seem more attractive than their own women. So we're not marrying at the rates we once did. We're not procreating at the rates we once did. But that's a whole nother show for a whole nother day. What
Yeah.
I'm trying to put back on what Tanzy is saying is that don't put on Blackness for convenience. You don't get to easily just step in and out of Blackness in our styles, which you try to adopt with your Botox injections, with your butt lifts. Okay? You don't just get to put that on and off for convenience.
It's not a
You gonna learn
costume.
today. You gonna learn today because we are coming for that check, and we are coming to make sure that narrative about defunding the police is about funding reparations. Don't tell me you've got money to bail out the stock market, to bail out major corporations, to give to all these other groups while ignoring the ADOS. Everybody else gets a come up, but y'all ain't got money for reparations. The devil is a lie, and you're lying, and we're coming to expose you. Yeah. So, Tansy, I want you to speak because I want to share. I get chatty. Can you share with us? I want to give a little bit of a teaser. I like to tease. I like to let them know what they're in store for. Can you share with the family from your purview a little bit about what they can expect on the 27th and 28th?
So the vision that we have for this march is we want to take the American people through the historical justifications for ADOS reparations. And what I mean when I say that, we want to take you from slavery, Jim Crow, peonage. We want to take you through the lynchings. We want to take you through the redlining, the decline in our employment. We want to take you through all of that. We want to take you through that, all of that oppression when we went through the Civil Rights March, when we were out there taking on those water hoses, taking on the dogs, taking on the Klan, moving from place to place because we were almost forced to be nomads in a country that we were brought to under duress and against our will. We want to take you through mass incarceration, take you through what that looks like, all the way to the present day of today when we get people like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Mike Brown. That's what this march is intending on doing, taking you through those stages of the symptoms of what happens when you don't repair a people that you enslaved. These are our justifications. So when people say, you're just asking for a handout. No, we're not. We're asking for the labor to be compensated, the compensation that our ancestors are due. It makes us the beneficiaries of that because there is no status a statute of limitation on inheritance, and that is our inheritance. We were cheated out of our inheritance, and that inheritance was stolen from us, and it was given away to other people. It's being given away all over the place right now, and we're being neglected. And we are American citizens, so we have a right to make that complaint to our government because that's who stole it from us. So that's the vision that we have. We want to take them through those historical justifications for why we have why we're asking for reparations now, so that we can activate them to seek out ways to inspire them to seek out ways and motivate the people to seek out ways to get our just due and to get our inheritance. This is what we are owed. We're not owed a handout. We were never compensated the way the rest of the founders of this country had compensated the other citizens. We didn't get compensated with that. So we are coming to get that compensation, and it's not our faults that it's so high. It's your fault because you didn't do it. You didn't do the work. That's why they tearing down statues now, and all of these other things all across the country, because the country didn't do the work that it was supposed to do. And now you're having to do it all at once, and it seems sudden. But when you had over 150 years to do this work, you didn't do it.
Amen to that. Hassan, if you could please put in the chat for me where our ADOS and allies can donate to the march and how they can reach ADOS SoCal and ADOS DMV for more information. I greatly appreciate that. And the main page, I think, didn't you guys, Tanzy, build a web page for the march to get people to sign up or to compile a list for people to help?
Yes. So if you go to ADOS-DMV.com, then you will see under our events tab, you can register for the march there. If you want to volunteer, you can reach out to us at Reparations March at ados-dmv.com, and we will reach back out to you to find out how you can contribute to this march. You can DM us in Facebook. You can DM us on Twitter. We're on Twitter at ADOS DMV on Twitter, and we have a Facebook group at ados.com. I'm sorry, at ADOSDMV on Facebook. You can find us there.
Okay, and ADOS SoCal for the West Coast that wants to get in touch with me, you can reach me and ADOS SoCal at ADOS SoCal 1619 at gmail.com. I typed a few of those things in the chat. And Hassan, if you're still there and can do the rest, otherwise I'll do it after the show. But back to what you were saying about the vision. I'm super excited because why we need all hands on deck is because we don't want this police thing, which is huge, but it's a part of our struggle, right? We don't want that to be the only thing they focus on, because down here I learned that the mayor siphoned 150 million from the police to defund them. Who knows where that money's going? Who knows? More than likely, because he is Hispanic, it's going to the Hispanic communities. This is what they're doing, family. They're taking these funds and they're reallocating them, and we still don't see a dime of it. We're still on the bottom. Okay? So that is what the problem is in allowing them to try to slick reparations by giving all the funding to a Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not jealous, but what is Black Lives Matter doing with that? Are they cutting reparations checks? Okay, so we are there to co-opt and take back the message, because I don't care what you heard. ADOS is the reason why reparations is trending in the first place. You got to give credit where it's due. We were the ones, the keyboard warriors, before Yvette told us to go out here and be the solution. We were the ones in that Twitter space, in the Facebook, in the Instagram, lighten up government, lighten up the CDC, giving them the business, and we haven't stopped doing that. And then reparations became a hot topic on the debate stage. Well, we still have a few more months to impress upon Biden and the rest of Congress and the rest of the DNC that it's reparations and a Black agenda in exchange for our vote, or risk a Democratic down ballot strategy where we leave the president off and let the chips fall where they may. That's what they're up against if they don't deliver. And they can't lie anymore and say they can't deliver, because they're working on a fourth stimulus of some sort. And they've been stimulating the stock market so tough that folks actually believe we're doing okay. Well, let me tell you something. If COVID don't take you out, what's coming for us economically without that check will wipe us off the face of the earth. We will become as extinct as the Indians and be pushed further and further from the cities that we currently live in. That reparations, it's not welfare, it ain't Obama, okay? It's not a handout. It is a debt that is owed for what? Slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. All the wealth you see around you is because our ancestors built it. Not the Hispanics, not the Asians, not the Caribbeans, not the Africans. We are so far removed from Africa, most of us don't even know where we're from. Okay? And these little tests, I don't even know if they're accurate. But I'm here to tell you, our African ancestors' blood courses through these veins. We are American. And we claim that identity for a reason. Because if you don't claim being American, you don't get a check. We are more American than America. We've been here since 1619.
And
Okay?
before.
And before. Okay? Let me help you understand. This country was not formed till 1776. So who is more patriotic than ADOS? Who? Who is more American than
I tell you
ADOS?
what, I would venture out to even say we're more American than those who came over on the Santa Maria and the Pinta, because those descendants ended up breaking off from the ones that from the American government. We didn't ask to leave the American government and wage war against the American government. We didn't do that.
And
But
yet,
those descendants of those white people who came on the Pinta and the Santa Maria did, and yet they waved the American flag.
isn't it just such an oxymoron? It's so it's too deep. But
It's very deep.
our son says citizenship means something. We are Americans, and that's
Yes.
why we put ourselves in that. Kunta Nyamiba. I hope I did not botch your last name. He said, hashtag, you know you are right. Okay, Kunta. Okay. So this is why I'm excited, because what we need and why we need y'all to come in Obama inauguration style numbers is because we want to be louder than Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, and so do reparations. Okay, reparations now. We'll have the slogan on the T-shirt that you can purchase. But the bottom line is the vision that has been birthed through us is so gigantic. I mean, this is our civil rights moment. Remember when King and his posse of all races marched on Washington? That's what we need to do. And guess what? Hassan mentioned, now is the time. Let me help you, something, family. Let me help you. We're out of time. We are out of time. This election cycle, you've been hearing Hillary and Biden. Biden's response to reparations was, we've got Hispanic vote. Now, you can look it up in the YouTube and find it, but his response to reparations was the Hispanics. And that's what they're counting on. The Hispanics are already larger than us. In a minute, they'll be educated enough to vote in the same record numbers we do. And they're going to take this over. And let me help you with something about these Hispanics. Love y'all, allies only. But Hispanics can be a very selfish people. They'll give you a Sinclair from, what was that beautiful show that Queen Latifah was in? Oh, with Maxine and all
Oh,
them.
living single.
Living single, thank you, love. They'll give you a woo, 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 but they're not lifting a finger for you beyond the
Well,
woo,
see, you
woo,
got to
woo.
think about this too. This is what I want you to realize when it comes down to the culture of Latin, the Latin culture. The Latin culture is and I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert, but this is what I just observed. You have Latin people from all over, from Spain, to the South American Latins and things of that nature. They come here. Well, first off, when we're talking about Mexicans, this was their land. So it's a very complicated situation when you're dealing with people who you took land from, and when you moved the border, they got caught up in it. And so now you have people who this was their land at first. You done put up new borders, and now they're sitting there looking like, what am I supposed to do? And they still got people over here, and then they got people on the other side. It's sort of like what they did with Africa. Europe came over and put up all these new borders, and them people didn't really get along. And either you go get along or you go fight, and all. And so now you see what Africa is. And I think that's kind of what's has somewhat have happened in South America and for America. And so now for them to come here, we say stuff like y'all come over here, but some of them was here already too. But that's a whole different type of fight. I'm not gonna sit up here and fight no Latin person. I don't have a problem with you, Mr. Latin person. You leaving wherever you coming from from something horrible to come over here for something better, and you don't realize when you come over here that I'm already suffering. You just coming over here running, trying to find something better, and God bless you. I hope you find it. But guess what? When your advancements is based upon the criteria that I stay underneath the foot of the main oppressor, then we have a problem. And that's where I stand up at. I'm not going to let you kill me off just so you can live. We can work something out to where we're both living. But you just don't come over here and kill me or make me the bottom and think that I'm not going to fight back. And that is the problem. I don't have any problem with any individual person. I do have a problem, though, with a governmental system who sees that as a weapon and decides to use immigration against me and my community. And then just because you so bad off, you can't really see it. Well, that's just too bad. I'm sorry you can't see it, but I'm the one that's being harmed and I see it. And if you can't come move into my neighborhood that I was in first, and we can't work something out, then we just can't, this can't work. We're going to have to figure something else out. And we're going to have to figure that out through the governmental system. But I'm not going to sit up here and let you lock arms with the government and let me continue to be the slave or be your footstool. I'm not your mule. And the DNC sees that, and they're using that against us. And once we realize that and stop trying to point the finger at people and demand this of the DNC, we see you. We see what you're doing. Look at what Trump is doing right now. He's promising the DACA kids, we're going to give you a pathway to citizenship. That's going to appease the Latin folks if they get a pathway to citizenship. But what about us?
You know why that is? Because they're losing votes. You
Yeah.
see, the Latinos was a predominantly conservative race of people.
Mm-hmm.
They, by and large, were conservative, but now they're pulling towards the Democrats. And so now there's this tug of war to see who can serve them better. And Donald Trump is only interested in pandering for that vote,
Yes.
as are the Democrats. But look at what's already happening, which back to my earlier point of us being out of time.
Yes.
They're fighting for the Hispanic vote, not the Black vote.
Nope. They've given up on our vote.
They have given up on our vote because we have awakened.
Yes. They know that we're not that captured electorate anymore.
We're not a captured electorate anymore. You've got to earn it through reparations and a Black agenda. And so now everybody's pivoting to cater to the Hispanics. So much so, and Tanzy, you could probably speak to this. I don't know, babe. For some reason, your camera adjusted and you're sitting lower than me. Can you adjust your camera to come back in frame on my level? Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you look like you just dropped.
I
Okay.
did. I had to adjust it.
Oh, okay. Well, try to come up because it looks uneven. I'm
Okay.
here and you're here, and I can't go lower.
Give me one.
I'm missing all your t-shirt and everything. Okay, so while she's going to adjust her position, back to my point, and Tanzy can speak to this when she comes back on the line. But I remember during the Supreme Court hearings over the 1860 Civil Rights Law that allows us to sue for discrimination. I remember the NAACP and the National Urban League, maybe even the CBC, being on the steps with the Hispanics when they were fighting DACA at the same time. But when ADOS was on the Supreme Court steps to fight to keep our 1866 intact, we had no support. The Hispanics weren't on the steps with the ADOS, and neither was the NAACP, neither was the National Urban League, neither was the CBC. Now you on the side, darling. I don't know what happened.
I'm trying to.
Do the camera the other way, or lay on your side because you like this now. You like this, and I need you like this. I need you to fix it. Not something's going on with your camera. Fix your camera, gorgeous. That's it. Just leave it. I don't care if you're shorter than me.
Okay.
Family, excuse me. We can't get our levels right. It's okay. Leave it like that. Don't go. Okay, so Tanzy, can you please share with the people what happened when we were there fighting on 1866 and all of our support was over on the DACA steps?
Yes. So, when we were fighting for our rights from being gutted on 1860 for with the Civil Rights Act of 1866, we were the only ones out there. The DMV's chapter pulled together with a host of other chapters to go out there and fight for that Civil Rights Act from being gutted. Well, we were the only ones there, other than some people from Stars Network, I think it is, that were paid protesters to go out there and protest for a television show, for 50 Cent's television show, because they were going to cancel it or something to that effect. And once we told them what we were out there for, and that this wasn't for like just some paid job stuff, we're out here because we recognize that our rights are about to be gutted, then they began to chant with us and protest with us for that in particular Civil Rights Act. We all know that they settled out of court in the long run, but the point is, we were the only ones out there. The NAACP, the Urban League, NAN, nobody else was out there. And for whatever reasons that they weren't out there for, I won't go into much, but they weren't there. And so we went to the NAACP and asked them, why weren't you guys out there? What was the issue? Why weren't you out there fighting for our rights alongside with us? And one person asked us, why weren't we out there fighting for DACA? And I was like, well, why would I be out there fighting for DACA? Why wasn't DACA fighting for us? Because quiet is kept. The 1860s, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 affects them as well.
Yeah.
It affects them as well, and they weren't there. So yeah, no one else is helping us. None of these allies, these coalitions, and all of this other stuff, no one else is out here helping us. We're out here fighting for our own well-being by ourselves. And if I'm incorrect, if there's other people out here fighting for ADOS, I'm not talking about just Black Lives Matter and blanket Black people, I'm talking about specifically us. Maybe they don't know. And this goes back to why we have to do this march. Maybe they don't know the plight of ADOS. Maybe they just have that blanket view of what Black life is like because of Black Lives Matter. Well, that's why it's important that we be out there at these Black Lives Matter rallies so that we can educate people and give them the right information so that when all the dust clears and all the chips fall and the grifters, they go on with their pockets full of money, and all the poor people, like what was left at Ferguson, is standing there holding a bag of grievances and issues. ADOS is right there to help guide them and lead them into the truth because they've been, misled and misguided. So that's why it's important for us to be there so that we can help people understand we are the solution. Reparations is that solution. You want to help Black people, support reparations. If you want to help keep Black children in school and not go to jail and have to sell drugs and so forth, support reparations. You want to improve the employment and small businesses and all of these other stuff, support reparations. Because then, if you support reparations, then you won't have to worry about your welfare going anywhere else. The people who don't have a reparations claim, you can focus on them because we won't need your help anymore. We'll be able to carry our own. So,
That's
if you want to help Black people, support reparations because Black lives do matter.
yeah. Support reparations because Black lives do matter. And it is the only way to close the egregious racial wealth gap. I'll remind you before I close out the show, white folks share 100 trillion. 90%, which is ADOS of the Blacks in this country, share 700 billion. And we aren't in this wealth gap because we buy too much weave or we get our nails done or we buy too many Jordans. That type of gap cannot be closed by not buying Jordans or not weaving your hair or not putting on nail tips. Okay? Please understand and stop that silliness if you're one of those people out there spreading that lie.
Mm.
Reparations, I'll remind you, is a debt that is owed for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage. Get used to saying that as easily and as effortlessly as you say your name. Don't let other folks try to trick you and deceive you into believing there's something wrong with you for championing for the ADOS community, which you are of our ilk. It is time for us to be selfish. It is time for us to throw everyone else off the tit. Our ancestors did that already. We don't have to. So I will not apologize for being self-interested. And you need to straighten your back and not be ashamed to be an American descendant of slavery. You are one of the strongest that made it to the other side. Know that you come from that strength and that power, and know that we need all hands on deck. The vision is gargantuan. It is magnanimous, and I need everybody there to help orchestrate the vision that we have to teach the nation and the globe about how we got to George Floyd. Everybody needs to be there because y'all need to pick up a sign and march under direction. It's going to be epic, and you don't want to miss it and have to watch it on TV because everybody's going to be there. And we need to show up in those massive numbers. Support, support, support. We've all typed in ways to send money immediately. Okay? If you have to give up a Starbucks or a McDonald's, we're not talking you got to finance the whole thing. We're talking aggregated dollars to help us execute this amazing vision God has birthed through the DMV and SoCal ADOS for this March. So,
let me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tanzy. You can have your closing remarks.
Yes. So the march is August 27th. I I'm not sure if your audience is aware, but on August 28th of Martin Luther King did his March on Washington. And so now, in honor of Martin Luther King and that March on Washington, on the 27th, we're going to have our march. We're going to end up having our march in downtown DC. More details will come as things get closer to the event. We'll have more details to put out on that, but it's going to be in downtown DC. We could use your help if you want to volunteer. Like I said, you can DM me on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at ADOSDMV. If you want to help, go ahead and let us know how you can help. We need people to do all sorts of things to help facilitate the march. Also, if you want to give to our Cash App, it's $ADOSDMV, and you can find us all over the web. I've given you all kinds of ways to get in contact with me, but the best thing you can do right now is just DM me, and I can give you some more information if you couldn't catch it. So I look forward to hearing everyone. This march is very important. We need to be there. We have the wind behind our backs right now. We have the world chanting Black Lives Matter, and that is us. Yeah, we know they got some stuff going on with them right now, and I'm not even worried about that. What I'm worried about is making sure that we're there when those chips fall. They're not going to fall and land and hit us. We're going to be there when the dust clear, though, and we're going to be there to lead people in the right direction, not to give another solution for a symptom, but to give the solution for the actual problem itself, and the solution is reparations for ADOS citizens.
Amen to that. And I want to thank you, Kunta. He said he can give $50, $ADOSDMV, Cash App. There's also a PayPal. A son put it up in here in the chat. Y'all just go through the comments and you'll find it. I just want to thank y'all so much for rolling with us, sister, for rolling with the DMV, SoCal, Friends of ADOS TV. And I know y'all gonna be at that march because it's gonna be lit. And I'm gonna tell you something. You don't want to wait to hear about how lit it was on the Friends of ADOS TV show, because your feelings are gonna be hurt. Because you go, just like your feelings are hurt that you missed the ADOS inaugural conference. Y'all still crying in your beer, and you can't wait to get there in October, I'm sure. But I'm here to tell you, it's gonna be even more epic than that. Tanzy, also, people were already asking me when I keep posting every day about the march. They keep asking me about buses. Do we have tour buses? Are people put together buses? Where are the hotels? Folks are lit for this march. And so I pray that you will quickly put information on your page of the bed and breakfast, of the Airbnbs, of the different places where they can congregate a few to a room, because it's ADOS life. We are doing this on a shoestring, but we can all help each other make this happen. If you want to get there, don't allow money to stand in the way. We can help try to find some solutions. It may be a little crowded. You might have to bring your sleeping bag, but please visit the ADOS page that is written here in the chat, and I'm sure that they will have more information to follow about travel arrangements, about accommodations, and things of that nature. Correct, Tanzy?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful, family. Well, with that said, we're on the hour. We did pretty good, Tanzy. You were a great co-host today. How do you feel?
I'm excited, a little nervous being on television and everything, but I'm excited.
Well, I'm proud of you, sister. You did amazingly well. And when you watch the playback, you're going to be very proud of yourself. With that said, family, I want to pray us out. I can't let us go without that covering, that prayer of protection over my beautiful ADOS and allies. That the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God truly is, because guess what, family? You are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until next time, family, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Saturday and work week. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. Bye, family. See you in August.